Hi, it's Christine Dobson here, and I am back with a moment in ministry. Today, we're going to be dealing with a very, very interesting topic. One that I am personally dealing with right now. And it is a topic that we call Shon Ha Ra. Now, Shon Ha Ra is one of the mitzvahs that we are studying and following, trying to anyway, in our ministry. And is one that I am personally dealing with myself on as we speak. Shon Ha Ra means evil tongue or evil speech. And basically, it would be equivalent to slander or gossip. Now, a lot of us would sit and think, hey, we already know that we're not supposed to gossip. We already know that we're not supposed to slander one another. But the reason why I love the principle of Shon Ha Ra so much is because it teaches us a lot deeper. Now, we're not allowed to gossip about each other. We get that. We're not supposed to slander each other. We get that as well. But a lot of times with those things, you might find lies somewhere in there. And some people might be at the point where they say, you know what? I'm not going to say any lies about anyone. I'm going to say the truth. Well, with the principle of Shon Ha Ra, if you say something about someone, even if it's true, it's still wrong. If what you say is going to hurt that person and cause that person some harm. The Bible says this: when a brother has been taken over by a fault, those who are strong are supposed to restore him gently. How many times has the words out someone's mouth when you have felt bad enough about your situation pushed you over the edge and made you do things or think things about yourself that you may not have wanted to feel? But because of the words that they said, they might have cut like a knife and pushed you over the edge. I believe that that's why the Bible tells us to restore each other gently. Because when a brother has been taken over by a fault, come on, who really needs to know that what they're doing is wrong? You know, and definitely no one else needs to know it, because you pretty much know for yourself what you're doing. But we have to be very careful with the lines that we draw when we talk about one another, because we don't want to tear each other down. We want to build one another up. And anything and everything that you say to anyone, whether it's for correction, whether it's to help them to stay on the path, whether they're doing something wrong, we want to make sure that you always say it in love. Being gentle with the person a lot of times can change somebody's walk and turn them from a circumstance or situation of sin. Shon Ha Ra is very important even to me in my walk, because I found myself casually talking about different things. And I know that some of the things I may have said, even though it were true, even though it was not malicious, if the person heard it, they might be hurt. And because I know that, I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm having a lot of prayer going back and forth with me to the Lord, because I'm asking him to take my evil tongue away. Because I would never want to say anything to harm anyone. I would never want to do anything to hurt anyone's feelings, you know. And I even had the conversation with my husband, like, where are the lines drawn? Because sometimes you just need a sounding board, because, you know, as a pastor, you hear all kinds of things. And of course, I know that we're supposed to go to the Lord and pray, but we have to make sure that whoever we talk to, whether it's our spouses or whatever, and I really don't think, especially as a pastor, that it should go beyond that, or maybe the mother of the church, somebody that you know really is going to be prayerful and really want the same thing for this member as you do, or maybe that person's family member that wants them to be delivered, I don't really think we should go outside of those realms, because Shon Ha Ra is such a thin line for you being on the righteous side and for you crossing that line being on the unrighteous side. Shon Ha Ra is so bad that I can't even say the truth about you. If it's going to hurt your feelings, then I shouldn't be saying it at all. Now wait, don't get it mixed up with us correcting each other. If my brother is doing something wrong, I'm going to come to you in love and I'm going to let you know, okay, what you're doing is wrong. But I have no right to go to someone else and tell someone else what you're doing is wrong. And I even sometimes thought like, okay, well, I'll say this to somebody and I'll explain what's going on, but I'm not going to use any names. You know, we've all been there. I'm not going to use any names, but so-and-so did so-and-so, you know, and that's not even good, okay? Because we just want to make sure that we get into the habit of not tearing one another down. Another principle of Shon Ha Ra is the fact that we have to be careful about the conversations that we have, because a lot of times our conversations can make someone say something wrong about someone else. And I'll give you an example. It's like if someone comes up to me and says, so-and-so is a thief. If I know that this person is on 10 because they already don't like this person and they already have a negative vibe about this person, and if I sit there and I say, oh no, so-and-so is not a thief, so-and-so is a great person, and I know that that's going to cause a negative reaction and cause them to say more negative things about that person, then I'm also violating the principles of Shon Ha Ra. Now, there are some things, as every rule, there's an exception. If you know that someone is about to get married and you know something about the spouse, maybe that they're married to somebody else, maybe that the person has AIDS and they're not disclosing it. Maybe there's someone pregnant and the person doesn't know it. If you know something that the person, if they knew, would not go through with the wedding, or, you know, would not go on in the relationship, then it is your job to let them know at that point. Because we want to do everything for the greater good, and we don't want to do anything that causes harm to anyone. So, with this principle of Shon Ha Ra, I'd like to leave you with this. We have to be very careful that we do not tear each other down. We are called to love one another. I'm called to love you even if you don't love me. And I'm called to build you up, even if you're self-destructive yourself. We have to learn how to go to God in prayer and pray for one another. We are our brother's keeper. And it is no longer acceptable, once you get the principles of Shon Ha Ra, to keep tearing each other down. Let's use the word and the righteous path to build one another back up brick by brick, and no longer use our mouths to tear each other down. That's the principle of Shon Ha Ra, and this is your moment in ministry. Until next time, be blessed.